Nigeria, the 22nd of April 2024, a new week, and we're starting off this morning doing what we know how to do best, the headline reviews on Afro Connect TV. I am Adewale Alashikwan. This morning, just like we do every other weekday, we take you through all select headlines on our national dailies in the country. My name, again, is Adewale Alashikwan. I'm doing this with my colleagues in the studio with me. Good morning, Chinati.
Hello, Adewale. Good to see you. Looking stunning.
Thank
by the way.
you.
Looks like
Good
the
morning.
weekend
I
has
love the
been
new
good
haircut
to you,
as well.
eh?
How are you doing?
Very well.
And to Godwin
Sunday.
I needed to take a pause to pronounce yours correctly.
Good morning. Good morning, Wale.
How are you?
Very well.
It's good to be back here. How was
Yeah.
the weekend?
It was good. I see you two glowing. It just shows that you had a splendid weekend
Exactly.
without me.
Well, you ran away over the weekend. And we tried as
I've been
much as
fun
possible.
everywhere.
Actually, you went to a wedding and you didn't invite us, so I can still see the whole wedding scene around you.
Let's settle this outside.
Exactly. So we'll start off the conversation this morning looking at the issue with JAMB. A JAMB official asked one of the candidates writing examination last week to remove head cover hijab, which was absolutely against the rules. Of course, it's an infringement on her right to religion. Because she had the right to wear whatever attire she felt comfortable in wearing, and she was asked to remove. And thereafter, we've seen that JAMB are taking action against this official, and he has been sanctioned. What does that tell you?
In addition to that, also the JAMB also parents are also clamoring for the fact that JAMB has moved its exam to 7 a.m. Although JAMB has come out to say that, hey, the exam is not starting by 7 a.m. We want your children to be in the center by 7 a.m. But looking at a state like Lagos, one traveling from Iyanokpaja to get to probably a place like Igondo, Lagos is a traffic-prone zone.
Exactly.
So if we're saying JAMB is putting up exam for 7, which means our children will have to leave the house probably by 5, but their parents are saying it's too early. They should put the exam for 9, probably 10.
It's usually 9. Mostly 9.
Yeah, they should put it like, but I know people that wrote the exam last week, I want to say congratulations to the first set that wrote the exam.
Exactly.
It's usually very hectic to be in the first set to open,
Exactly.
open
And
the
there's
center.
usually this tension
Yeah.
that comes with
It's not
being
even the
the first-
tension, you even have the bad experiences.
I mean,
you're
every
like the test
modification
run.
thereafter is gotten from the experience that
Yes.
those people have.
I don't-
And looking at Godwin, if you look at what happened holistically, it was an infringement of this lady's right, because it's enshrined in our constitution that you have the right to practice whatever religion and all the things associated with our religion, such as head covering and some other religious things that could be identified with your religion has to be respected, and this was not respected. And this tells me about what even happened across all universities in Nigeria. I wouldn't want to name some universities, but we've seen security operatives go beyond the stated rules that have been given to them. Perhaps you're told that girls without skirts below their knee shouldn't be allowed into the campus or some strategic places in the university. And you see people go beyond that. They tell you, okay, you can't wear armless, you have to cover whatever part of your body they want you to cover because they feel
fanatics,
justified.
yeah.
So I just think in putting out regulation, we should also sanction how it is being implemented. So we can't have people go overboard to do things that are not required.
Because I'm very sure for this girl, I mean, the point is do not commit malpractice. And if you ask that official or the JAMB officer, he'll tell you that he was doing it in a bid to ensure that no malpractice is carried out. But this person you caught or you asked to take off the hijab, was the person carried out malpractice? You didn't catch the person, so why are you asking me to take off my hijab? Just because you have your own selfish reason, or you just think that you have the law in your power, you must go overboard.
But Chinatu, again, what we're trying to blame the official for doing what he think was right. Remember the same JAMB last week, they said parents should not come to the center, they'll be arrested if they come close. JAMB is also saying that people should not put on wristwatch while coming to the center.
Because
Imagine
people have
smartwatches that you can do a lot of things. So one day we'll get to the point of writing and say people should not wear shoes. So I don't know what has been the internal memo for JAMB that led to them saying that, hey, hijab, this officials say that hijab should not be allowed at the center. Probably because I don't know for whatever reason, but I think this is
And
wrong.
I'm actually hearing this for the first
It
time.
is.
I'm hearing this for the first
We always
time.
hear things for the first time in Nigeria.
I mean, it defies all reasoning
It
that
does.
you have to stoop so low to that regard. And for issue of coming as early as 7 a.m., my understanding is that the examination itself doesn't start until later, let's say 8 or 9 a.m. in the morning. But the reason you have to be there 7 a.m. is because of the registration, is because you need to settle in and able to at least, if you need to do last minute reading or
Yeah.
settle in
On
or
the easy
fill in-
airport, easy airport.
But it's actually
No, but
important.
So you have to
it's
check-
quite
you have to check in.
important. And for people that are saying that, oh, they have to go to another state or something, my understanding is also, and evidently, JAMB would always have opening for you to register and carry out your examination in your state. But once that state has been filled up already, you then have to be moved to another state, perhaps
Yeah.
a nearby state. So since different people having to move maybe 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. to another state, perhaps they need to update it. If you are moving from one state to another, perhaps you have to be put in the afternoon examination period and
Jam
not in
should
the
just
morning.
have to
supplement,
bring
make
it
provision
up.
of supplementary exams. That's all. While just make provision of supplementary
Well,
exams.
they'll have to look into everything and see what
I
they
know
can
they always
do.
listen to you.
We'll take a quick break right now, and when we come back, we go into the stories this morning. Stay with us. Welcome back. It's still Afro Connect TV, I beg your pardon, and this is Headline Reviews. My name is Adewale Olashokbod. We're starting off this morning with Chinatu for news on Binance executive.
Yeah, I'm coming from the Punch, where the Kenyan police has arrested the Binance executive who escaped from Nigeria. The Kenyan Police Services has arrested fleeing Binance executive Nadim Anjawala as the International Criminal Police Organization moves to extradite him to Nigeria within the week. Government sources familiar with the case who spoke on condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to speak on the matter confirmed the development last night. I mean, on this table we've spoken about Nadim, and we've seen how our security operatives have worked to the extent where this Binance executive escaped. And I know we're asking, is it that our security links are so weak that we'll have somebody in our custody and the person managed to escape? What is happening with our security system? And now, he escaped again, but he fled to Kenya. And it's now Kenyan police that have been able to arrest him. And they'll be sending him back to Nigeria for, to go through the trials and possibly face whatever he needs to face. And, when I was reading about this yesterday, people were asking, is it that Kenya is taking over the job of Nigeria police? Because, remember the case of Nnamdi Kanu? It was still in Kenya that he was arrested. So you now begin to ask, what is happening with Nigerian police? Do we have to move people first? Do people have to escape to another country to have them arrested? What are we doing? But then I see that there's a communication flow too between Interpol, between the EFCC, and even the Kenyan police. So those who think that they can run away from Nigeria and go to Kenya, they'll always come back because of the communication flow. But then again, Godwin, what do you think about this?
But what I think is very simple, Chinatu. Even in Kenya, what's the guarantee that he's not going to escape again? Because we're talking about Binance here, and Binance. We'll talk about Binance. They're like a principality when it comes to the issues around cryptocurrencies.
Yeah.
Binance is a multi-billion-dollar company. So if the director or CEO is already with Kenya, Nnamdi Kanu might be arrested in Kenya by the international police, probably because he has a lot of money. And he probably might not have the kind of money that the Binance has. Right now, we're seeing a multi-billion-dollar CEO or director being arrested. We just keep our fingers crossed that he won't escape again in Binance. In Africa, again for the second time. But then returning back to Nigeria, I think at this point we need to start looking at our internal security network to ensure that we're able to get this right for the second time.
Yeah.
We can't keep having suspects fleeing the country at will, whether in any disguise. It is really not a welcome development for Nigerians security trajectory. We need to look into this. how can we even talk about a person fleeing the country and being found in Kenya? How did he enter Kenya?
And you know what? He even went out with a smuggled passport. Who issued the passports?
I think those are the questions we need to begin to ask ourselves, because if we look this holistically, right from when the issue of Binance and the EFCC started in Nigeria, they were called
Amaka, you
in
heard me in the
from
farm.
another African country
And
to
I was
question
shocked when we
it.
entered.
They
It
wanted to
was the song
understand
we
them.
started
Of course,
with, I said, this
cryptocurrency
boy.
and other forms of
Praise the Lord.
the organization
let's hear that
activities
song
banned in
again and use
Nigeria
it to
and
thank
are
God.
not allowed. And we see
We're
that this
going
is
to
being
help it.
done. So
Do
they
you
were
know
called
sometimes
for
when I
questioning
see
in
these
Nigeria,
teenage girls,
and Nigerians
I
are asking them,
remember
you
when
can't
they were
hold people
children.
arbitrarily without a court order for you to do something. And once that happened, we then
Father, we
had
thank you.
stress against
Some
them.
chick
And then
wants
we later
to.
heard a few weeks after that this person had absconded from the custody. He went to a Friday prayer or something. That was all we were told. And now we have him in Kenya. My understanding is that Nigeria is in West Africa, and we have Kenya in East
somewhere around East
Africa.
Africa.
So how did this man able to? He didn't. What's it called? Disappear from Nigeria. So who exactly was in charge of the security? How did this person move from where he was? How did he get to? How did he escape from the Nigerian borders?
Smuggled passports.
Some Nigerian borders, all we have around the country. So we need to ask that question holistically, even before we get to when it was later apprehended in Kenya. So we can see that the relationship with Nigerian law enforcement agencies and their sisters organization in Kenya has been robust so far. And of course, we have extradition treaties with other countries, so it makes it very easy. Had it been we didn't have an extradition treaty with what's it called, Kenya and some other African countries, or even some other world countries, it would be very difficult for us to extradite this Binance executive back to the country. But that's been put into work right now. The Interpol, the law enforcement agency, the police in Kenya has apprehended the guy. He will be transported back to Nigeria through the Interpol. So after that, to face trial in Nigeria, what next? What can we do? We shouldn't bury the
That's
case.
if he doesn't
We shouldn't
flee in
bury-
Kenya.
That is,
we can't rule out that
Well, we
possibility.
shouldn't bury the case of his what's it called, fleeing from Nigeria in the first place. We need to prosecute that and make sure that everyone involved in it must be sanctioned properly.
Well, I'm worried about something, Godwin and Wale. Are we not, when we do all of these things to people who are coming in, foreigners coming into our country to invest, are we not making room for more investors to come? Is it not enough to scare investors once
Father, we
they
thank you for this day.
Well, I don't want to see from the negative part of the economy. Just looking at it in the
Father, we
light of
bless your
it.
name, oh God,
Let's
for the gift
see this
of
as a
life.
shallow mistake that was
Father, we
done.
thank you
Probably
for your faithfulness.
they didn't expect this from
Father, we
probably
thank you
it was
for
not
this
there was no
fellowship.
continuous
Father,
plan
we
made for this. But then about Nigerian economy,
Father, we
most
thank you,
investors
oh
will
God,
come into
for
an
the
economy once the economy is viable.
things that you have
They
given
won't come
to
in
us.
because of the track record
Father,
of
we
one
thank
person
you
fleeing.
for
They will
life.
come into a
Thank
state
you,
where
oh
they know
God,
that
for making it possible
they
for
can
us
make
to see
returns on their
light of
investments.
this
So
wonderful
investors will
day.
definitely come in, especially
Father, we
right now
exalt
that the
your name,
naira
oh
is
God, because
currently
it
gaining
is
weight.
not by our
It's
righteousness, it's
appreciating.
not by
So
our power,
most
it's
definitely
not
the
by
Nigerian
our
economy will
might,
be
it's
affected by
not
it.
by
Investors will
our
definitely come.
goodness.
Exactly. So I
Your
think
word says,
from there we take him
your
to
grace
the
and
next
mercy has made
speaker
it
from you,
possible.
Godwin.
Yeah, we
May
begin
your
to the
name,
leadership
oh
from
God, be
Wale, where
exalted
First
in the
Bank has
mighty name of
appointed
Jesus.
Olusegun Aleboisu.
Our Father and our
Aleboisu.
God, as we come
I
to
hope I'm corrected. I'm correct on that.
He must sue you for murdering his name.
As the acting MD, well, First Bank of Nigeria has
In the
appointed
mighty name of
Olusegun Aleboisu
Father, we connect,
Alebiosu
oh God,
as its acting
all
managing director
our
with
members of
effect
the
from
Way
April
Father, we pray for
2024. The
King
bank
of glory,
stated
we
this
pray
in
for
a release signed by its
We cover the
acting
roads,
company
the cars
secretary
that they are heading
Adewale
to this nation. Father, we cover all of them with the
Owogundade.
precious blood of
Aleboisu takes from
Ancient of days,
Adesola
they will come here, say,
Adeduton, who gave
as
up
we
the
celebrate.
role abruptly on Saturday, even though he was due to complete his tenure in December 2024. The release stated that following the resignation of the managing director and CEO of First Bank, Dr. Adesola Adeduton, the board of directors has appointed Olusegun Alebiosun as the acting CEO of the 130 years old institution.
Exactly, Alebiosu.
Alebiosun.
I'll break
No, I was waiting for Wale.
I was
Wale,
waiting-
thank you very much.
I was waiting for
Well,
you to.
hold on. I thought I heard
complete it.
Adewale.
There was
No, there was an
another
Adewale there. When I saw Adewale
The
at
last time
first,
it was Godwin.
yeah, you know, last week was Godwin's week. This week is
So we have
Adewale.
Alebius right there. We have Adedutan.
Wale, calm down.
But we
Oh,
don't
thank-
need to pronounce it right, so they understand that we respect their names.
Well,
Well, go ahead with the
well,
news.
the new managing director of First Bank. I'm sorry for pronouncing your name with my Akwa Ibom intonation. Well, I'm really sorry about that. But then the fact of the issue is that right now, First Bank has gotten a new CEO, and this is a plus for the bank. Olusegun has been in the banking sector for years right now, and he has been doing magnificently well. So attaining this height, I think, is a plus for the bank, especially with his wealth and experience in the banking sector. We see First Bank taking a new stance right now. And I know with him manning the aim of leadership in First Bank will definitely hit its target. And especially now that we're going to bank recapitalization by the Central Bank of Nigeria. I don't know how they've implemented that policy right now, but then the recapitalization, I'm sure right now that with anybody at the aim of affair in First Bank should be able to surmount whatever benchmark that has been put in the banking sector, because they've been able to stand at that pinnacle of at that zenith, at the peak of their banking trajectory, maintaining the 130 years in the banking industry. Well, that's not something to take to joke with.
Exactly, it's not small feats that what Central Bank,
First Bank of Nigeria.
Bank of Nigeria has done over the years. I'm looking at Olusegun coming in now. He's had wealth of experience in the banking industry, 28 years, and he's served in different units in the bank, or the several banks that he has worked with so far. And we can only congratulate him. Just like you talked about the recapitalization, there's a lot of work to do for the banking industry in the country, and we can only expect the best from them, Chinatu.
Exactly, we all expect the best from him. I remember, a few weeks ago when we had the new CEO of Zenith
Zenith
Bank.
Bank.
Yes, Zenith
Yes, first
Bank.
female.
And a lot of people were saying,
The
saying a lot of
OG
things.
lady.
We're saying a lot of things, and I'm very sure people will not be able to say those kind of things for this man, to this man. But then we just expect that he delivers. We've seen First Bank grow from where we used to know it to a greater height now, and we just hope that it continues that way. More digitalization.
Exactly.
And no more elephant movement.
And that's where we move on to the last story for today, coming in from Tribune. First set of CGN, that's compressed natural gas and electric vehicles to launch before May 29 in Nigeria. The first set of compressed natural gas and electric vehicles will be launched before May 29, 2024. This was made public on Sunday, 21st of April 2024, in a statement signed by Bayo Ononoga, a special advisor to the President on Information and Strategy. The statement affirmed with the necessary tax and duty waivers approved by the President Tinubu in December 2023, the PCNGI committee is partnering with the private sectors to deliver the promise of the initiative. The statement observed that the private sector has responded with over $50 million in actual investment in refueling stations, conversion centers, and mother stations. With the issue of compressed natural gas and also other form of cleaner source of energy, we looked at electric vehicles in Nigeria as well. These are a kind of motor transport the systems that we want to introduce into our system. If you look at electric vehicles, we should even talk about Elon Musk's his name, Tesla. His name was escaping my mind just now. Tesla, and also to look at China's Build Your Dream, BYD. These are fantastic companies that have capitalized their investment in the electric vehicles in the world, and we see them export tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of vehicles in the last few years in their existence. So this is what we want to invest in our country. But aside importing into the country, I'm looking forward to the same situation where we look at how can we make sure that we begin to have manufacturing line in Nigeria that are able to produce this kind of vehicles that will be available to people, because it's one thing to import into the country. How about we look at the maintenance itself? We need these companies to be there, but also a lot of people will criticize the movement that you just want to do something to show on May 29 that since 1 year you've done a lot of things. I understand this is good, but also these people's comments has to be taken into consideration, because you look at a lot of conversion centers. There's some electric vehicles needs to have batteries, and these batteries can be changed from different centers to center. How about you put in one center and somebody go there to steal it? So we really need that to be put in place. But this is a welcome development. I look forward to seeing better things coming.
All I can say is kudos to Mr. President. This is a welcome development from me. I don't know, from China too. No, if it comes to the matter of three, if it comes to the matter of three, then it has been established. It's a big congratulation from me.
It's a welcome development, but what is the past situation in Nigeria? Anyways, we should talk about that next time.
Exactly. I mean, the conversation has been awesome so far. And heart goes to everyone that is writing their jam right now. We hope that you will not be asked to remove your hijab or whatever the attire you're wearing. And that's where we draw the conversation to a close this morning. Thank you, Chinatu and
you,
Godwin.
Adewale.
Yeah, Wale, thank you so much. Always a pleasure doing this with you.
Always a pleasure. And it's a pleasure for you two at home or wherever you are in the world for being a part of the conversation today. My name is Adewale Alashapunti. Will come your way tomorrow. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms where you can stay up to date with the news. Bye for now.